Roll dice, be nice, and stay tuned. This is the Live to Die podcast.
Oh, you want me to start this? Wonderful. Welcome to the Live to Die podcast. This is Ryan. I reached out to James
the Live
recently.
to Die mail guy.
Ryan, the Live to Die mail guy.
Say that 3 times fast.
Ryan, Live to Die mail guy. Ryan, Live to Die mail guy. Ryan, Live to Die mail guy. Give me a patch.
That's incredibly
I want
impressive.
Give it to me.
Give it to me.
It's the one with
It's
the
from
bullet in the
all
head.
my literature experience. I reached out to James recently. He's talking about the Gmail account and how there's some stuff getting behind. So I've logged in here recently, and I just wanted to poke around and say hi to some of y'all that have been saying hi to us. And today, on the Ryan, see, I already messed it up, the Live to Die mail guy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, here, you can have it back.
Aw.
It's like, you should get a drop that plays the
reverse.
notes in reverse. So this is going to be from Michael Harris, who reached out a while ago. Hello, I'm currently prepping Kingmaker for 2 groups.
Holy shit.
Trying to make my world feel cooler and more fleshed out. I've been trying to find a supplement similar to your thingy that gave flavor to Arthur's sword. If you could send me the info on that or any supplement you recommend, feel comfortable, blah, 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 blah. I'm just joking. P.S. I'm super sad that I'm caught up and needing to wait for new episodes. We all are, Michael Harris. We get sad. Like we're recording these episodes, and then I think this episode we're recording now is going to come out in like 7 weeks. Like I get bummed out that I have to wait for it too. So
Michael, I hope you're taking extensive notes on what's happening in each kingdom, because that sounds like a lot to keep track of.
A lot to keep track of.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and sent Michael. I reached out to James and got the links to all the stuff that he sent him. Michael, we really appreciate you reaching out, and continue to do so. Tell your friends.
Good luck.
Yeah.
So as people know, we've talked about it on air before, but what helped inspire Arthur's sword was the Vorpal Almanac. I forget who publishes it, but I picked it up from the distributor. What's they called? They
Exalted Funeral.
They I don't know if they publish it, but I know they help distribute it. They are great. They do a lot of like indie distribution for games. They're one of the easiest places to get old school essentials material from. And a lot of those old OSE, OSR style, like old school style games have a whole lot of settings that are essentially mechanically like agnostic. And so there's a lot of tables or little like snippets of narratives that you can weave in. I'd say probably the biggest thing from my point of view for like fleshing the world out was trying to think about what's exciting to me. And then it's really like seeing what all of you all fixate on and then like trying to bring it back up. Like the fucking bandits from the bandit camp that you let live have gone on to be a part of it. That's been a big one.
You killed one of them.
From all of you as players, what are things in the game that to you made your kingdom or the land feel more real?
You letting us have like our stake in it. And what I mean by that is like, sure, Brevoy is a place in this world that unless you're up here, you probably aren't going to interact with it, but like we're from there. So like that's Nikolai's homeland. And like, we've been back there a couple times and maybe there's some bad shit going on and it's leaking down here, but like you giving us free reign to build this.
Shit's leaking, is it?
Yep.
Yeah. To build this the way we want it is, I think what's been like a big part of it.
I want to piggyback off that. When you look in the player's guides for any of these APs, there's always recommended like this bloodline will be good, or this background will be good, or this so-and-so will be good. And you do a really, really good job of allowing us to create our own stuff and then making it pertinent to the story. Like, I mean, there's kobolds that are undead and skeleton-y and drinking at the bar, getting stuff everywhere, and it fits.
Yeah. Definitely giving me pointers on like where I have an idea for a structure of a story element, and you can kind of give me an idea of how you can tie that into the actual environment.
Cool. So I mean, it sounds like the takeaway is talk with your players about what they're excited.
The player's guide, right? And you've and we've talked about ultimate cities and ultimate rulership from
Legendary Games.
Legendary games.
Yeah. I'll also shout out a like long-term, very good friend of mine, Kevin, who's been a huge assist in working on parts of this campaign. Because often when I'm prepping, I'll get on Discord with Kevin and just chat things through. So like finding a friend, it's hard because like I'm lucky enough. This is the most friends I've ever had in my whole life, and it feels spectacular. And I know that because I have more people that are immediately at this table. Because normally I'm like, all right, I need a Pathfinder table. I need to make 2 more friends.
Yeah.
But like having people to chat with about it is kind of fun because like I'll be reading stuff off, or like a couple of friends that are in other games. Some of you have played with, Ike or Kieran. They're in some games, and so frequently I'll just be like sharing bits of lore with them. I think is cool, and sort of spitballing on that. A lot of the Elga backstory in areas is stuff that started off of some side conversations I had with Kieran about like, hey, I kind of want to riff on this. Like having people you can talk to, sort of like writing buddies, essentially. Like I kind of want to evoke these themes. What comes to mind for you? Like that's really good. Since Jane is sort of like taken a break from the podcast, she has been really involved in like talking about sort of backstories and ideas. I think the biggest thing is the more real it feels to me, the easier it is to make it feel like real and interesting to all of you. However, I feel like that same thing is true for all of you as players. Like I want to give you some guidance because I don't want you to try to create a thing that's so out of sync with this game that like we have to go really far out of our way. But I feel like each of you have kind of told me things that make you excited about your character, and then bridging that in. Like Jason, from Nikolai, you've always like you instantly sort of grabbed onto the idea of like wanting someone who wants to make a home in a community, which fit great with Kingmaker. And like so Nikolai's very driven to like build his family, whether that's an actual family or like a found family. And then Trent, you mean yours changed a little bit with Biff, but I think your kind of journey of Arthur's, you are sort of seeing about how a person's origin meets with the reality of the situation and what's the new thing that comes out of it. Ryan, talking with you, it's like what I've heard you talk a lot about is like your interest, your excitement in coming into the story was like wanting to sort of uncover the stories of the land. And so you went like through the archaeologist route. I'm interested, Jared, in your mind, what's the appeal to you of Red?
Oh no.
Of Red?
Yeah.
I think that since I play Lucky and he's very scheming, it's nice to have a very like
a genuine person.
Yeah. It's like nice to have someone that's simple and just kind of will walk into a room and there's no motive. There's just like, he's just observing, taking in information, not overthinking it.
Yeah.
And I think that makes it easy to play him because it's just like whatever comes to mind, he'll probably say, you know, he's maybe a little more polite than Arthur with his approach. But kind of cut from the same cloth where it's just like, there's not a lot of deception going on there, you know, and I think that that's nice. And it just lets me explore relationships with characters differently than I do with Lucky.
That's true.
This is an admission as to how much deception, scheming, and motives Lucky has
I love it.
at all times.
I'm always texting James about all the stuff that none of you know about.
Yep.
And he's at home right now.
Yeah, he's got all the time in the world.
Lucky is so shady that I don't always trust Jared when he's telling me a story about him. It's
Lucky,
like, I don't know about that.
and I've talked about this a lot, but I cannot help but bring it up and just give you like accolades for it, Jared, because I think Lucky is such a cool example of how to play an evil character. Because like, it's so easy to play an evil character that just fucks with the rhythm of a group. Mm-hmm. And Lucky has never done that. But there's no question that like morally, Lucky puts himself above everything else.
Yeah.
But it's a fun character, and he found a way where that cares about the group.
Peter
there's
Baelish
definitely
doesn't suck.
Yeah, there's definitely layers to it. You know, and as like he is endeared to more of the and gets to know the characters better, that shifts a little bit. But
yeah,
I mean, there's definitely an underlying motive that's always kind of there.
I think the funny thing is that every time you bring up Jared playing Lucky, the evil character, I'm like, is he evil? And I think that's the thing. It's like, and then I start to second guess myself. It's like, what are you up to? And it makes me nervous, but I've played with people that, you know, are doing that. They're trying to play and it's like constant, like nudging the players like off the track. So if you're not doing that at all. So I was like, oh, he's a hero just like us.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
The thing I've come to find about games like this, tabletops, whatever, role-playing games, is that you are a character, but there's not a main character. The main character is the group.
Yep.
And
yeah.
Let me emphasize that again. for the people in the back.
Right.
There is not a main character in this game.
There is no main character.
If
And-
you are the main character, you're wrong.
Yes.
Right.
Your group wants to fire you.
Yeah.
Lauren, I don't want to presume that you feel bought into the world, having only played with us for a handful of sessions. Of the parts of the world or the parts of this game experience that feel like do draw you in, what does that for you? What's exciting about Laku, and what does that for you in this game experience? Or because you're, as you've mentioned, you're going from a whole day of recording with us to playing in a first edition Pathfinder game tonight. What draws you into games?
I think it's just exploring parts of yourself within different characters. Specifically with this game, I'll first start off with, I just loved that I was invited into a side game that was going to like interweave into the main game, and seeing everybody's reactions around the table about the end of that episode, and like, oh, who this which person is. And it's like, they were all very excited. And I was like, I don't know. I hadn't listened to the podcast at that point. So I was like, I don't know who this person is, but they all seem really excited. And so it was fun to get to see that reaction of like, oh, wow, like James has done something really cool here. I don't know what, but like everybody else is reacting to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that made me very like, I wanted to come back. I wanted to learn more. I'm like, why is everybody so excited? What happened here? And then with Laku specifically, I kind of love playing somebody who's like super into like cryptids and the like aliens and world government taking over, and just seeing like, what is it like from that side to just believe all these, out there kind of things, that some of it might be true, but a lot of it probably isn't.
How does Laku feel about vaccination?
We're not getting into that.
I want to say she believes in it, just because I can't go that far.
Probably doesn't like it being called the bird flu, though.
Yeah, that's really racist.
Yeah, that's pretty racist in this world.
One last tip that I think is really fun for GMs, and this is courtesy of Rory, who is we actually have a Patreon episode really early on of just him and I talking about sandbox campaigns, and I think he talks about it there a little bit. This is something I took from him whole cloth, and that I didn't need to adapt it too much. Is in open world games, I think one of the things that's so much fun is rumors. And I cannot highly enough recommend having rumors. Now, Pathfinder's great, and Kingmaker actually gives you inside of, for those of you who are prepping Kingmaker, I believe it's inside of chapter 3, an entire...
Oh yeah, I've read that chapter.
Chapter 2. It's the giant chapter. It's the Hexploration chapter. I think it's part 1 of chapter 2. Has multiple rumors by sort of region. And it's both when you're in the region or when you're kind of getting to the appropriate levels. And I cannot highly enough recommend looking through them. You can write some of your own. There's whole tables online for rumor generators. Rumors make a world feel so lived in, and it helps create such a cool payoff when something is true. Like rarely are any of them completely wrong. Like some of the best rumors are ones that are about a thing that's true, but a little wrong. And so it's so fun for me. And you all, I think, have had these moments. You've heard some rumors early on. Like you've heard some rumors about the Stag Lord, some of which maybe were true or weren't. So that when the first time you meet him, you have all these ideas in your head. And rumors are my favorite way to make a world feel lived in. It's a big Rory thing on rumors. Rumors are also great for a GM who wants to add a little bit more, because if players get super interested in a rumor that is a like up to the GM thing, you can be like, well, fuck it. I'm going to flesh this out with them a little bit. So
Also a phenomenal album. So
rumors.
wow.
That's how James brought me into the game too. He's like, hey, you're making this character. Here's 4 things that you've heard of.
Yeah.
So then when the players are like, oh, we're doing the best, like it was like an easy way for me to like dip in RP wise, be like, oh, I've heard of this.
Because you had all those, had all those rumors about Elga, who ended up becoming like a major part of our story. But I think the major part of our story we need to focus on now.
It's dinner.
Well, right now you're still in the meet and greet. And so you've just kind of gotten the quick brush through meet of Anamede and the Aldori sisters. And I think now Yamal, is sort of has a chance to get you to himself, if you will. And specifically, he has an interest in you, Baron Nikolai. But to the group, as he's sort of kind of finish. You've taken about 20 minutes so far to kind of make it through, get an impression of some people. I will say that for this part, Ryan, Jonas, you've split off and like into the minute 3, into
Okay.
the 30. Oh, you're in the third period of 6 going through this first hour, basically. And this is when you were sort of trying to make an impression on Ganymede, talking about some of the different like suburbs and the up and coming parts of the city. While this has happened, Yamal has sort of brought the rest of you off. Not like pointedly, but it's just clear he wants a chance to get to talk with you a little bit. And so he'll kind of look to it. At this point, I think it's clear that he feels like the most official of the group is probably Nikolai and Arthur, having like specifically knowing that they have titles affiliated with it. And you do as well, Jonas, but you're over talking to Ganymede.
Laku, can you please translate? I can't understand a word this guy says.
Yes, of course.
Oh,
I'm
thank
very good with languages.
Okay, thank you.
I am interested, as you have only been around for a bit so far. Your kingdom, it seems that you have done quite well for yourself. What do you think you owe your success at Shattershield to?
So he talked a lot, but he said he liked your kingdom and wonders what you did to make it successful.
I believe our citizens are what makes it possible. With a lot of buy-in from top to bottom.
We've had to kill a lot of people.
There, yep, we have
But they were bad.
most of them. Yes,
Oh, that it is interesting. People do make such a big difference. The group here, the travelers, they have become, they mean so much to me. And what we have been able to do to help others travel freely here, well, it is nice. I'm actually curious. This will be our first, formal location that we have set, and it is not much. It is a few hunters that are out now. They'll be back later. Myself, you've met Timon, and then Orlean. He is the one making the food tonight. I'm curious though. We are trying to settle on a name. If you have any ideas for a name for this hunting lodge, it is. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts.
so we have a Patreon. We will go through and come up with some names.
He said the people are good here. He likes traveling for free, and he's trying to come up with a name for the lodge.
I would also say that one thing that makes our country, I don't know, our nation buy in, there's a lot of people who are, like some of our oldest civilians are bandits. Who
Really?
I guess you could say liberated them. He looks at Arthur. We gave him new jobs.
We liberated them at the end of a sword.
Yes.
Interesting.
We gave them a different path if they wanted it.
It is very interesting. You were able to do all of this? How many strong were you when you started your kingdom?
You 5, 6?
How many people were there at the start of the kingdom?
Yes.
Like 8?
That is quite a bit. You have grown so much. At this point, those of you who are interacting, like I said,
Really good social media.
This bit right here is working for me. So I can sit back and watch this all day.
So like I said, I always like to keep in mind exploration activities is the best way to sort of structure it. So while you're doing this, if you're going to be making any checks, that's kind of what you're doing. You're all talking with him. So in my mind, any of you could set up to in this 10-minute period, your choice of discovery to try to figure out what might be a good way to influence him. Or if you feel like you have an idea, you can just take a stab at trying to influence him. And keep in mind, it's not just social skills always will work, but you may find out that like talking shop with someone, or like if you remember, we did some of these very early on in Kingmaker. There was like showing feats of strength or like being able to talk military with some people. So your choice if you want to try to discover something with this interaction or try to influence. Red, do you want to be doing anything in here or you just, what's up?
I like this picture of what's the gentleman's name that we're speaking with?
Yamal.
Yamal.
Your boy Yamal.
At a table across from Nikolai, and then Arthur and Red kind of flanking him on either side. I think he's just observing. I think he is listening. He is enjoying the food. And like I said, not overthinking anything, but just kind of trying to pay attention, trying to stay engaged in what the conversation is, even though he is struggling also with the accent. So thank you, Laku.
I think you should call it the Cozy Hole.
Yeah, that is a name, certainly, no?
That's a good name. I like that name.
Yeah.
Sounds comfortable.
Nikolai's shaking his head.
Do you want to, so what I'm hearing from you, Red, is a discovery. You want to give me a perception check to see what you can pick up, and then we'll kind of go clockwise. So Trent, I'll ask you next. So go ahead and give me a perception check, Jared. And then Trent, your choice if you want to discover or influence, or I mean hypothetically you'd be doing something else, but these encounters. Lauren, Jason, thoughts?
I think I'd also just like to discover.
Okay.
Because I'm getting kind of like they're hunters, so like maybe a nature vibe. So is this a kingdom that so you said this is a kingdom that he's also building?
It's a group. This is think of it like almost an up and coming guild, or almost like a non-profit, as he's talking about it. Like their goal is to make sure people can freely travel like safely throughout areas while ensuring that there is harmony and balance between the natural land and the people in it.
Okay.
It's just like straight up fantasy group of rangers.
Yeah.
Or like if you're a big 5e person, like 5th edition D&D, it's like sort of Harpers without as much politics, like sort of they're like Western cowboy motif sort of thing.
Gotcha.
Like they're going to deal with the big problems. They want to help. They're interested in the hunt. They want to live off the land. Hence the hunting lot would be a chance to do that. They'll take some contracts to hunt down bandits. Think like a little more ranger-based mercenaries, basically,
Yeah.
with a code.
She might be interested in talking about like, what exactly are you doing to help clear up the roads and provide trade? What kind of pathways, like, does it cost money to travel on your roads to keep them safe? Like,
Perfect.
that sort of thing. And maybe like bring up, I thought earlier too, when we were like just first meeting everybody and having what was the wine called? Glühwein. Like, she would be tasting that and chatting with the bartender about like, have you heard of Scrumpies?
Well, and there wasn't a bartender. There was a table with a jug on it.
Well, then maybe she would
Punch,
just
punch.
be chatting to him being the owner of all of this, of just like, this Glühwein is exquisite, but have you thought of other things? Perhaps we could bring trade up this way.
So if you want to, because you kind of mentioned it, one of the discovery skills you can use is hunting lore. Like, because he's talked about hunting.
I don't have hunting lore. I have farming
yes.
lore.
So do you want to discover with hunting lore? So your discovery options, because he's kind of made it clear, is perception, hunting, and survival.
Oh, okay. I could do survival.
Yeah, I can
what you
actually
got
do
your
survival too.
So if you want to do that instead of perception.
So he might been like, well, tell me about the biggest thing you ever took down, the biggest hunt you ever had.
Okay.
And just like conversation like that.
Yeah. So kind of discovery, what do people roll for their checks? Hunting lore, survival, or perception. This is going to be for you to get a read on Yamal and what might be interesting to him.
Correct. I'll, for flavor's sake, mine will be about how we used hunting as like commerce to get us started.
Yeah. Your early hunting days to feed the town until your farms got going.
27.
All right.
Hunting lore?
24 for survival.
Same 24 for survival.
Laku's not doing great. 16 for survival.
You're really focusing on the translating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
It's a
you
tough
did have an
accent.
additional
From
job. so-
common to common.
The thick Galtish brogue. So kind of what you're picking up on, I think Red in particular, you notice that he's like anything that's kind of close to the group talking about their feats that they've accomplished. Like he's really interested in that. He's very impressed by deeds that are done. So you think like highlighting successes is something that really stands out to him, partially because he's so into that. Like he wants to be very successful.
Probably talk about the owl bear
Yeah,
and how we
yeah.
had to go and hunt it.
Well, save that for some of your influence checks.
Okay.
Okay.
Because this is you like getting a read on him. There's still 30 more minutes to this first hour of socializing.
Gotcha.
And you have potential different groups to build these relationships with. Arthur, you pick up on the fact that as he's sort of talking about different things, you notice that he kind of basically alludes to him becoming a hunter, at least in part to escape the frustrations of like politics and urban life. He really likes the sort of the freedom of being out here. He doesn't really like veiled conversations and talks. Like he wants to talk directly about what he thinks is interesting. And Nikolai, your big takeaway is very much that like this motherfucker would like few things more than to talk shop about hunting or even to get into like wilderness. Because it's not, for him, it isn't just hunting things, it's that living in harmony. So either
So I start
hunting
preaching in
lore
the good word, bro.
or like survival, you think either of those checks would easily get you into some good graces.
Have
with
you ever
him.
heard of a rastal?
Have you ever read the good bow? So here's what I just kind of want to say. You've got 30 minutes more in this first period of socializing, and at this point, each of you'll see Timo will kind of come by. Hello, I just wanted to wait. I gotta get his voice back. I just wanted to make sure you didn't need anything. The food will be coming out in just a bit, but I can bring you more drinks, or if you need anything in the meantime. This is to the four of you. He'll come over and interrupt you in a second, Jonas.
Do you have any mushroom tea?
I'm not sure that we do, but I can go. Yes, I will go ask Orlean and see what he has.
Thank you. A chamomile is fine if he doesn't.
One.
Yeah, can you bring me something strong? And the same for everyone. Especially those two ladies over there. They seem like they like to have a good time.
They've already placed an order, but thank you.
It's on me.
Everything's on us.
No, it's on me. Just let them know.
I believe he's trying to court those ladies.
Oh, yes.
What are they having?
Water right now.
Oh, well, then I'd have that too.
Sure.
I love water.
Wonderful.
No, he said water. It's,
Oh.
I think it's something different.
Oh,
I believe it the bubbles in
I'll
it.
give it a try.
Ooh.
He comes over to Jonas. Sir, madam, and Madam Bellavara, and was it Junior? Monsieur
It's actually,
Junior?
I used to go by Juniors. Jonas.
Oh, Jonas,
Mhm.
do you need anything?
Do you want a refill?
I'm not sure. I might just need to go excuse myself for a moment.
No, that's okay. You wanna? Where are you going? Where are you heading?
I
Would you
think
like
he
some
has to go to
company?
the bathroom.
Breakfast burritos.
You gotta poop.
It's kicking in.
All
Social
right.
poop. Social poop.
You know, it's when you go to a bathroom and the
Where's
stalls are
the-
only waist height.
Where's
Yeah.
the pooping bathroom at this party?
Mhm.
The one far, far away.
Have a little bit of privacy. Jonas just planted a tree.
Yeah.
Mhm, I did. Out behind the stable.
That's what it's
Lean
for.
against the tree.
Mhm.
Needs some fresh compost.
Yeah.
So, just to kind of ask you all above the table, what do you all want to do? So I don't accidentally spend 4 episodes in a giant
Sure.
marathon social encounter.
Sure.
You've got 30 minutes left in this first period. Who do you want to go try to talk to and about what? And remember, basically, you can discover, you can influence.
What's the? I want to use Stolen Lands lore. What's the history of this specific spot that they've settled on? Do I know anything about this?
So who are you talking to? Are you gonna try to stick
I was
with
just wondering
Animede?
if I knew anything like about it, but I don't feel like Animede is my mark. If that makes sense. Let's go talk to those other 2 ladies over there,
The Aldoris.
the Aldoris.
So you'll head over to them.
I will join you.
Okay.
So, how do you approach? And then we'll bounce over to the 3 of you.
Who do we know? What's her name again?
Well, you know Miegar Varn,
Miegar
the
Varn.
founder of Varnhold, which is where they're from. And
Okay.
then you worked with Armandi, was it Jamandi Aldori?
Jamandi
Jamandi.
Aldor.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you hadn't met her, but the other
Yeah.
had.
How's everybody doing tonight? It looks like just wondered if you guys have seen our Jarmandi lately or Mr. Varn, because I can't remember his name.
Miegar.
Miegar. Just you guys seen them recently? They helped us. They helped my companions out in the beginning of our little endeavors out here to the east or the west, whichever direction we came from.
It was a while ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we are doing well. Miegar sends his kind regards. He heard that there might be someone from your groups here.
Oh, wonderful.
Did we see these people?
No.
Okay, that's
Hey, I heard that you and your friends like Aldoris, that you like swords and like stuff.
Yes, and you can see that you probably would have known this. You've been around in the region long enough. They both have the Aldori dueling swords strapped
Oh,
at their hips,
cool.
which is a
Cool.
slightly curved, single-side
Mhm.
bladed dueling sword.
This is the sword that I use, and I think I'm pretty good with it.
Okay.
I think Jonas actually
Touchy.
laughs. Yeah.
I've been reading a lot about about big battles and tactics. Do you know anything about that stuff?
So here's the question. Are you discovering or are you just straight up trying to influence?
I'm trying to influence
Do
with
it.
warfare lore.
Mhm.
Okay. Give me a roll.
Okay.
Crush it. Is it
It'd be
above
like-
the temperature?
That's a 27.
The pacifist.
That is above the temperature.
Yay!
Wait. Does it have to be current temperature?
Current temperature.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
let's
man.
check. Let's
you
check.
can't roll over
It is not over the current temperature.
19.
Dang it.
It's currently 19
That's
degrees.
good news, though.
So
But it's
basically,
that's a 27.
and they're like, it is. The stories of wars are the stories of many. We are interested in the actions of the few who help shape them. But that is an impressive sword.
Oh, thank you.
Your read is that warfare lore probably isn't one of their influence skills, but you didn't hurt their feelings. They're like, oh, cool, big sword.
Mhm.
Jonas,
Can I roll perception to see if I can figure out what their skills are?
Sure. You think you could probably also get away with society if you wanted here.
Okay.
Or
it's the
Brevoy
same
lore.
bonus.
Cool. Yeah.
I don't have Brevoy lore.
So your
I
pick.
almost
There
took
might
it.
be different DCs.
Let's go society
Okay.
for fun.
Yep.
25.
So your read on this is that in the way that they hold themselves, and a little bit of the conversation you overheard on the way over was them sort of comparing a physical like feats of strength. And they do, you even clock one of them being an observant person, like watching the way like how easily Arthur lifts the giant sword, and one does kind of like elbow the other and like throw an eyebrow of like, look at him though.
Bites her bottom lip.
So
Yeah.
if you want to hear an interesting story about the feats of the few, I have to change my accent, so I'll really apologize. The first time I met Arthur, he picked up 4 horses and a cart out of a river and chucked it back up onto the what do you call that? The shore. Yeah, that's the word I'm
Yeah,
looking for.
the bad
Yeah. It was pretty amazing. I don't ever think I've met anybody as strong as this guy in my entire life.
They were starting to flow down the river, and so I
Mhm.
stopped it.
He stopped it. It was amazing.
We're gonna come back to that because this is just too good. Because you've each made your check for this 10-minute period. So we're in the 10-minute period for Laku, Red, and Nikolai. What would any of you like to do in this time?
I want to keep going down and trying the road of influencing the guy that's into hunting.
Yamel.
Yeah, Yamel.
Okay. You want to just make an influence check for me?
I do. Hunting lore.
Hunting lore. Okay.
Let's see. 19.
And is there any particular way you go about this?
I'm gonna basically talk. I'm gonna start with hunting was kind of integral to our beginning, not just for commerce, but we were attacked once by a werewolf.
Oh, really?
Really? I thought
No?
it was bullshit at first too. It turned out to be the truth. We had and he gestures to the other people in the party. Some of us contracted the curse, but we got rid of it. Everybody, no one has it anymore.
And you did you get the curse?
No, I'm better than that.
Wow.
So did you boast a little?
Yeah,
So what was your total
19
with a boast?
with a boast.
All right. Red and Laku, what are you up to?
I think Laku's just kind of listening in on this conversation and at some point would want to ask more about the creature that we're going to be hunting tomorrow, sort of any information about the woods around here. Just trying to, yeah, I don't know. She's not much of a hunter, but she has some survival skills, and so just trying to plan for tomorrow, really.
Would you be influencing him, talking survival, or
Sure, she could try to influence him.
it's up to you? I do not want to pressure you to influence.
I mean, she does want people to be on her side because she has a constant fear of death. And so she's always like, the fact that Red is here is such a relief to her. And, but she just wants, like, she was looking at the 2 guys that were the protectors for
the guards.
Yeah, Anamede. And she was like thinking about talking to them, but she's like, I don't know anything about them. So she's just she's like, this guy is the head of this lodge. And so like, how can I get him to make sure I do not die?
All right. Well, why don't you go ahead and give me a survival check to influence, talking like traps in wilderness survival, figuring out all the stuff that people love to do.
Finally, a good roll. 28.
Jesus. Yeah, so he's very impressed and is like, I think he may not see eye to eye on like some of the cryptid stuff. Like, was a technique? No, I have heard tell that it is done that way, but I've never. So you say that you use what kind of berries when you're in like this, he's really getting into the minutia.
Not poison, boisin.
Poison,
berry.
not poison? Ugh, it sounds very similar to me. Your accent is so thick.
She kind of just looks over at Red and is just.
I don't know what either of y'all are saying.
But like even as he's talking louder, he's like, it's clear that he's like, the two of you, your group. I'm not surprised that you are able to do so well for yourselves. You are, honestly, I'm impressed. It is, yes, you're very good at this. I can understand how you've gotten here. And you've kind of crossed an influence threshold for him where other people are kind of hearing it. So your checks with other people are a little easier as he's kind of like talking this up.
I imagine both of us, like him and I are talking to each other, but we're both talking louder because we can't understand the accent. So we're like, boys.
All right.
Boysenberry.
Everyone around us is just looking. And it's like, they seem to be getting along, but
They're yelling at each other.
they're yelling at each other.
Red, what about you? What do you want to do?
Okay, question mechanically. Are the bodyguards impressionable?
They are not targets. Anamid, Yamal, and the Odori sisters. Those are your targets for...
Okay. Can I target the sisters?
Okay, so you're going to come over now.
No.
Oh.
By talking to the tough guys and saying,
I like that.
Y'all look like you know how to scrap.
Bet you didn't see that one coming, James.
40 pages, James. Where's your notes on the tough guys?
me and
I got him.
that guy over there in the shiny armor. We're pretty good in a fight too. And you think you could take us?
What do you bench, bro?
Yeah.
So here's
You
what.
just asked him what he benches.
He's intentionally
shit.
like trying to like
Bro, that car was
tell people.
not going straight. It was
Oh God.
It-
Makes me
going
nervous.
sideways down the road just now.
I love it.
The street outside of where we record, it is wild because whenever there's snow, it's like people specifically try to just like you'll watch them spin out on purpose, and I'm
Yeah.
like, it's all fun until you hit the like 1.5 foot fucking
Yeah.
storm curve.
Curb, yeah.
And he's also like, he was intentionally like trying to get everyone drinks just to see if people would lighten up a little bit. So like he's like was telling the attendant like the drinks are on me, trying to get just to loosen everyone up a little bit.
Tell you what, if you want to give me an athletics check,
Okay.
as he kind of like flexing and showing off, the DC is going to be higher to see if the two sisters notice.
Well, I would have
Right.
hollered, be like, "Hey, Arthur,
Mm-hmm.
these guys think they're strong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they know how strong we are." So maybe you can aid me. I don't know.
Well,
Can I?
Oh yeah, because this if you were willing to like take time, because this would now be going into the 40 to 50 minute, or yeah, we'll be going into our last our second to last 10 minutes before Arthur has on the check. But if you two want to do it together, one could aid the other.
Yeah, can I aid with athletics?
Yeah, it's a check specifically. Now, if Arthur's coming over, the DC is now no longer increased because you're calling their
Yeah,
attention
yeah. I was trying
specifically
to
to this.
intentionally get their attention.
And I think the two of them, like one of them's like, one of them's you will do you wrestle? What about wrestling of arms?
I've wrestled a lot in my life.
Yes.
That's a 27, and I'm an expert.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so you're
Do
gonna
you
get
have over
a
the top lore?
Yeah. Top lore.
Still,
Yeah,
still
put your
lore.
headphones on backwards.
you're gonna have a +3 on this check.
A +3.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm at a 25 total.
So you and Arthur arm wrestle these two guys, and the two Eldori sisters over there with you. Like at this point, they'd switched over to full glasses of like mead, and they're like, we would like to go next. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's
yeah.
all do it.
Excellent.
And they're just like they're starting to open up and lighten up a little bit, and
Okay,
like
good.
even as one's going, you can hear like Adina, kind of like, "Come on, you've got this. Show everyone how strong you are." like kind of giving each other a bit of a hard time, but also supportive.
Is my time taking up aiding him, or can I make my own check?
That's both.
Okay.
And now, so then we have basically, because once again, I think I could easily spend a whole time of us doing whole episodes of this. And there's still 2 more hours of this dinner party to get through, and we're not going to have a month-long dinner party episode.
Sure.
2 more checks for everyone else gets 1 check. So Ryan, Lauren, Jason, what checks do you want to make and with who? And we're just going to kind of keep this moving.
Now that the room is lightening up and people are yucking it up, what is that snooty lady doing?
I think she is actually picking out a note or 2 on her lute.
Okay.
She's kind of sitting back. Honestly, she seems to be relaxing. Like she is, like, you know that person who gets invited to a wedding and they're like, they know some people, but they're just like, I don't know a ton. I'm just going to enjoy the free bar. Like I'm going to be a good guest and just kind of like take care of myself.
I want to do something similar.
Okay.
I'm going to like, if this is a wedding, I imagine she's at a table that's set for 10, but she's the only one at it. So I'm going to sit at like,
well, this is a smaller group.
right. But that idea.
Uh-huh.
So I'll sit at like the opposite end of her, maybe not even facing her.
Uh-huh.
Just kind of like, I need a minute too. Like in a way that's like, I'm a baron, I'm tired, and a little bit of this is fake for me.
Okay, what kind of check do you want to make?
And I would like to make a baron check, I think is what it's called.
Sure, yeah. It's a classic baron lore.
Barony check.
I don't even know. I guess
it's in the rules.
This background music is very baron adjacent.
It's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm not trained in diplomacy.
Do you want to do deception?
No. No,
Performance?
I bet you she's performance.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Was Lucky trained in performance?
No.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of the 3 skills he's not.
Oh, nice.
Well, he just leveled up.
Oh, me too.
Oh, yeah, he might be. Yeah. Investigating.
And okay, you think on that for a second.
Okay.
Red and Laku, what are you doing in this second to last quick
Oh,
period?
wait. I already did mine. Jonas, right?
Yeah, Jonas, sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll eyeball the Baron and remind me her name again. I'm so
Anomede.
sorry. And Anomede. I want to get her to play something on that lute. And
So what kind of check are you going to make?
yeah, I'm in a diplomancy and glad hand it.
You're going to glad hand it?
Yeah, if I
Diplo
can.
over... Okay, yep.
Because that's just what I have.
Sure.
So here we go.
I got it.
Okay.
25. 26 with the badge.
Oh, and it's actually a little bit easier, remember, because Yamel's been like talking you all up so loudly. She's like,
Actually, I want to activate the diplomancy badge.
ooh, okay.
Once per day, attempt a DC 20 check to recall knowledge about people or of a human ethnicity, non-human ancestry, of some other type of creature. What I want to do, if you will allow me to,
Yeah, and can you do me a favor? Thank you.
use the my Stolen Lands lore to see like what songs are like popular. Like what's the Britney song from Party and the Wherever She's From essay?
T-Tex?
Yeah.
Well, so I'll give you
That's
I'll give you
Miley
something
Cyrus.
else. So first, give me the check and see if you succeed.
Yeah, she mentions the Britney song and the Miley Cyrus song. That's what I was going for. I do not, but I'll patch it.
Ooh. Okay, we're switching dice.
Like instead of it's Brittany bitch, you're like it's Jonas bitch.
21.
So that your DC 20 was what it said for the check.
It
So
did.
I think actually what you collect is, remember we mentioned that, I mean, the exact description here is a beautiful Tien woman.
Yeah.
So I think maybe you actually recall like a Tien folk song, like an older, pretty popular one, and you could even mention that. Now, keep in mind, Tien, PTX, different sides of the world, right? And so I think she'll kind of respond like, oh, I don't often get requests for that, but I'd be delighted to play it.
Yeah, we'd love that.
Starts picking out. What do you want to play? What skill do you want to try to use, Nikolai?
I don't really have anything that is helpful. So my thought was, how can I appeal to her with music? Can I go on a tangent about how music can be
famously women love
recovering
men with drinks
for the
coming to
soul?
them talking about music.
like it's chicken soup for the soul? Like it makes you feel
Okay.
good.
Sure.
It heals you when you're down.
Sure.
And
Okay.
do a medicine check.
Oh.
Yeah, you can try. Go for it.
You can make the DC as high as fuck, but thematically, this is what I'm going for.
Sure.
29.
Not bad.
I think she like gives it a bit of consideration, and it doesn't seem to endear you to her, but she's not turned off by it. She's not like, Jesus Christ, get away.
And I'm just like, I don't know, man. You know, just what's in this stuff? This glue ball.
All right, Laku.
So Laku, I'm curious. Laku doesn't want to try to like intentionally sway anybody, but she remembers the Baron's uneasiness around this whole situation. And so as it's like, you know, maybe Ormel and Tommel, I think I'm getting their names close.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
As they're
Yamal and Tommel.
No, not Yamal. I'm sorry, Orlean, the chef.
Yeah, the chef. Yeah.
So I have like, I don't know if maybe he's coming out and
He hasn't, but you could go find him.
Okay.
I love where this is going.
I could find him. I'm just like, I really want to get like a vibe on the lodge and what's going on here, and sort of like maybe on the, you know, like, oh, I'm just so hungry, and just trying to figure out like anything here that I should be aware of, like just looking around, anything strange that sticks out, anything dangerous.
Yo,
This is gonna be
smoking
a secret
tobacco
check.
makes
What's your
me
perception?
hungry.
So my perception is plus 13. However, with my, what are these things? They got renamed recently. Obsidian goggles.
Ooh.
I get a +1 item bonus to perception checks involving sight. So plus 14.
You find Orlean working over dinner. It's a hearty affair. Meats, some cheeses, fresh fruits, some produce. Kind of looks up, grizzled looking, looks almost like a war vet of something, but he does seem to be very focused on the food. As you look around, though, the vibe is it does seem to be very on the up and up, is kind of what you're taking. And that's kind of what you get at the time.
Cook chief in the Navy. You got it.
But like what he's cooking smells fucking amazing.
Yeah, maybe she walks in and on the smells and is like, "Oh, so sorry to just."
Dinner's ready soon.
It smells incredible.
Thank you.
Is that duck or
No duck, goose.
Goose? Of course. Was the liver stuffed with butter and salt and like how what did you do to prepare?
No butter, cheese.
Wow, this is going to be an incredible meal. You must be quite the chef.
I'm not. Thank you. He's just really in it.
I mean, she's like, I don't think I'm gonna get anywhere with this guy.
Thank you.
No, 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 thank you.
Thank you.
And
Oh my God.
she's like, all right. She like slips a piece of cheese and eats it and walks away.
And you see him look up when you take the cheese.
You're like,
And then he like watches. He's watching you as you eat it. What do you do when you eat it?
she like sees him seeing her, slowly opens her beak, drops the cheese in, chews it.
Keeps watching, like just holding eye contact. Then he raises an eyebrow, like, "Well,
Yeah, you got to tell him how it is.
Incredible.
thank you,
I've never had I've never had that kind of cheese before.
goose cheese."
I didn't know you could milk a goose.
You can't.
You could milk anything with the nipples. Great.
Thank you.
Look, Orlean's he's focused.
And
all right.
she just kind of wanders back and
I'm gonna
again
make you
just
a double
like,
cheeseburger.
oh, no.
You could call this place Goose Cheese Lodge.
I mean, everyone will want to stop by.
Goose Cheese Lodge. I
Goose's
think we should
Roost.
start calling it that. Sowing rumors. Yeah, we were up at the Goose Cheese Lodge.
I think she goes over to like Red doing the arm wrestling, and she's like, "You've got to try the goose cheese."
I don't know what that is, but it sounds good. Are you going to get in on this arm wrestle?
Oh, that's gonna break my arm. No, thank you.
All right.
It's
Well,
got
Hollow
bird bones.
All right. Because we have now spent an entire episode on a social party. Let's real quick, everyone give me one more round of... I'm so sorry to hurt all of your feelings. No more role playing for the
All right.
rest of this episode on these checks.
Okay.
All right.
What are you making with who? Let's crank these out and see what influence you rack up or don't.
I was hoping to just have like a quick spar with one of the Eldori duelists.
Yes, you want to do another athletics check to sort of like talk through like physicalities and motion.
I mean, I was honestly just kind of hoping for a swing of my sword.
Well, they're not going to fight you.
No, but you know. Show them that if I wanted to, I could defeat them. You know what I mean?
Jesus. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay, yeah, I can do athletics.
No. You do that. It doesn't help at all. That's your last action.
Okay.
Everyone else, what are you doing?
So Laku, she's not going to be able to arm wrestle anybody. But is there anything like looking down on this room, or is this just like one big empty like is there a second floor that looks down?
No, this whole lodge is pretty much one story.
Okay.
Just for simplicity of construction. This room has a little bit of a higher ceiling, but no, think of it as like a mess hall a little bit. A little cozier.
So she's like, okay, hold, look. I can't arm wrestle, but I bet you I can touch the ceiling. And so she's gonna jump and do soaring flight. Which is what is it? It was a Tengu feat that I took.
Okay.
And I get a fly speed of 20 feet. And if I am not on solid ground at the end of the movement, I fall. So she's going to go up. She's like, boom, touch the ceiling. And then she's going to fall, but she's going to kind of like roll and tumble as she gets down. And she doesn't get hurt because, again, Skyborn Tengu. So she doesn't.
I thought she was a flightless bird.
She doesn't take fall damage.
All right, give me an athletics check. The DC is going to be way lower to do this impressive thing of flight.
Okay.
Then you've tried to talk with them fighting, and they're like, no, we are not going to.
Oh.
It was a natural one.
Yes.
no.
I'll use my patch.
Oh, thank you.
That's a birthday patch.
Yeah.
Way better. We got a
Oh. Checking.
27.
Okay. Yeah.
That's much better than a 1.
They are
Yes.
maybe a little drunk, so impressed.
Yeah.
Both of them like slosh a little beer out. They're like, oh shit, look at the little bird.
I mean, it was just a bird.
All right, we'll quickly
Birds
rest
fly.
of the table.
How is that impressive?
Jonas.
Jonas is just going to kind of sit back, enjoying the music that's playing, and just kind of like eyeball, just perception check around the room just to see if I notice anything now that everybody's partying.
Okay.
What do I notice?
What's your bonus?
This is going to be with, if I take my time in the whole 10 minutes, I get
You
a
have
plus.
10 minutes.
Yeah, so plus 13.
Plus 13. You notice that Animedes definitely like sort of reacts very positively to like compliments and flattery about the song that she was just playing. Red, any influence checks or discovery checks from you? And then Nikolai will be
he
next.
wants to influence the main guy. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I can't remember these
Yamal.
names at all. Yamal, thank you.
I can get cards.
With survival, and he wants to tell him the harrowing story of when his Underdark inn was attacked by the Beholder.
Oh, that's
and how he escaped.
Damn.
Yes. Go ahead, give me that survival check. Nikolai, you're up next.
Ryan's die, natural 1.
Oh, it's my die.
Oh.
Critical.
Actually, you know what?
It's a 1.
I want to see what happens.
Yeah, I want to see what happens.
It could damage our.
You do
our
lose
standing.
influence.
Is Yamal the hunter guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Go
the
ahead.
main dude. Okay.
Go ahead. I feel good about this.
He's like, that did not sound very pragmatic, no? The way that you went about that. Anyway, it damages your relationship.
I think he liked it.
I mean, it's all true.
I mean, I don't know what he said, but yeah, stance, I think he liked it.
That's why I talked so much, because I didn't want to get into a conversation. You know?
Nikolai.
I'm going to do.
I think he said it was very practical.
That's
what I heard.
I like that.
Some more. Try to repair the damage Red just did.
Sure.
I'm going to talk about the helm and how it used to be the bandits and now it's mine. And I also I use it to hunt, but it's also kind of like a symbol of being a Baron. And look at this fucking helm. This fucking badass.
I like that some part of this is like middle school. Like, do you see these new shoes I
Yeah,
got, bro?
yeah.
Jordans, bro.
Hunting lore, then?
Hunting lore.
Out of curiosity, what was the total result with survival, even on a 1?
12.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a failure.
Yeah.
Or critical failure. The DC for oh, Jesus. Man, people are just blowing through their patches. I love it when I get to use it on social encounters.
The Baron's totally happy letting
That's
you look
better.
like a dummy.
22.
Yeah. You get a little bit back, and he continues talking with you. All right. So here's the deal, though. First hour is now past, and it is now time for, if you will, the main course.
Amazing.
Yummy.
Dinner rolls around. Tim will, everyone, if you please come join us at the main table. We're now going to serve. And you see Orlean comes in. It's a robust, tasty, but not very fancy. He just like sets it down and looks at it all. Fried goose, goose cheese, mead, apples, berries. Enjoy.
Thank
and then
you,
walks
Chef.
out.
What kind of apples?
Crisp.
Arthur will say,
Well chosen.
you should call this place Goose Cheese Lodge.
And Tim sort of looks over at Yamal, and Yamal goes, we shall consider it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time we've had this, so I do not know if I want to
Yeah.
name a lodge after a dish I have not yet tried.
I've
No?
never heard of goose cheese before.
I'm honestly,
So
me
he
either.
thinks it comes from here.
Let's should we try?
Yeah.
So you all kind of dig in.
Must be a
Oh,
delicacy.
as Orlean leaves, Locker just is like, bye, Orlean. Thanks for.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
He always gets me, that guy.
All right. So as it's set up, everyone's kind of digging in, and it's not fancy, but like it's tasty, it's hearty, especially like this time of year when it's cold. Like it sticks to your ribs just in the way you want.
Just tell us where it's poisoned, man.
Mm-hmm.
And like even Animede, you see like raise an eyebrow. The rustic presentation does add an unusual texture to the flavor of the feast.
Well, Nikolai curls his nose at that comment.
Yeah.
But did you try the goose cheese?
Oh, you know, I normally avoid the foul cheeses.
Is it
Well.
solid or is it like gooey? You know what I mean?
Like goat cheese?
Yeah.
I imagine that it's like cheese curds fried in goose fat.
Oh.
That sounds disgusting.
But do you have to
okay.
store like goose cheese in water like you do mozzarella?
Maybe. I don't know.
Mozzarella.
So dinner kicks around. The reoccurring topic of conversation that kind of showing up here is Yamil is now like really talking about the name. And he's like, well, we are interested in opening up like a public tavern. So I guess goose cheese could work, but I don't know if that gets it across quite as much.
Goose Island.
I'm going to say dinner, like
Take
the
it.
actual dinner thing takes it up. So everyone go ahead and batch for me. Go ahead, think of the 4 actions you want to take. Go ahead and batch them and roll them and take little notes. I'm just going to pause this here and we're going to go about that.
Got it.
All right, we're back from that quick little pause just for the sake of, so we'll go on the table. Should we do it round by round or each of you just dumping all 4? Let's do round by round.
Okay.
Jason, first check who, what, when, where, why.
I'll try the bard lady.
Okay, and what was your check?
Diplomacy, I got a 13.
Okay. Wow. She's a little turned off by
Yeah.
it.
try.
She makes some comment about like a rustic charm that doesn't even extend to its leaders or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not great. Okay. And then Red, what was your first one?
I did another athletics with the twins.
Nice. What was your check?
21.
You flip the table.
Yeah.
Cool. They seem into it. They're at this point just kind of like having a good time with
Okay.
you. Jonas.
I'm going to do diplomacy with the Jamal.
Okay.
And they call their group the Travelers, right?
And Beth Travelers, that's
yeah,
right.
I would say, why don't you call the lodge the Travelers Rest Public House?
Ooh, and what's your total?
31.
Fucking hell.
Nice.
Duck, duck, goose.
Okay. Arthur. God damn it.
Arthur is going to do a religion check
Okay.
to like lead a prayer before the meal.
Okay.
And it's just a prayer to Ragathiel. So like, may our enemies be crushed.
That's what I was imagining.
Yeah.
Okay, don't even bother telling me what the result is. That doesn't work for anyone. Okay, that's an amazing character moment.
Yeah.
Take a patch. Laku.
And then Laku is going to talk to Orlean about the apple choices and suggestions for how certain apples could go better with the goose cheese. And
Okay.
she rolled a 30 on farming lore.
That's high enough that gets it back at some point to Yamal, and it like leaves a really good
Yeah.
they know what's up. All right, go back quick around. You're in like second part of you finished your appetizers. You're at the beginning of your main course.
I'm going to use religion to talk to the twins.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell them about my new spell, Athletic Rush, that I get from following JD.
You know,
And
I
I
just
got-
learned to run really fast.
Got a 27 in religion.
The religion doesn't seem to connect with them, but they listen kindly.
Okay.
Red.
I did a cooking lore for Animede to show that I'm classy and I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And I got a 27.
Everybody likes food. It's universal.
27.
Yeah.
I think you do actually slightly bring her in.
Yeah.
And she does make some comment. She's like, well, perhaps there is, something to the local cuisine.
Yeah, Rusty.
Jonas.
Jonas is going to look at Red, and then he's going to look at Arthur, and then he's going to like pick up like a rock from off the floor.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not going to use a check, but I'm going to cast a new spell called Elemental Motion.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to take my hand like this,
Into the mic.
and I'm going to
Sorry.
set it on the rock, and then my hand's just going to cut it in half.
Cool.
Who are you impressing with this?
The twins. It's like my chain.
I do need you to
Red,
make a
he's
check,
impressing
but I'll let
Red.
you make a
Can I-
nature check.
nature
like a
check?
magic spell
It's like,
casting check.
look what I can do.
Oh shoot! Then if I'm using the same number, then it's going to be a 20 total.
They're like, damn, but they understand that it's magic. That's a little less impressive, but it doesn't hurt.
And I just kind of shrug and be like,
Yeah.
nah, whatever.
I mean, I thought it was impressive.
Red's cock block me.
Arthur,
Nikolai's like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Arthur goes and picks up basically all of the dishes and he has them just like on his arms, and he brings them over to the sisters, for them to take
Even
their
though-
portions.
Even though the best part is you're all at a communal table.
Yeah.
But I do think, so what was the check result?
So that's an athletics. That's 29.
So for what it's worth, it does explicitly say that what they're interested in is someone's physique.
Yeah.
That's a critical success.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And they are, at this point, both of the sisters are kind of having a like, I saw them first sort of moment.
Hell yeah.
No one talks of this. No one talks of this at home, but I saw them first. The large dumb one. I'm interested. All right, Laku.
Laku tried to talk to Yamal more about
Okay.
sort of the surrounding area and just didn't really hit it off. So
Okay.
survival of 16.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt it, but just you kind of weren't welcome out. All right, rapid fire round. Last two for you, Nikolai.
The last two
Yep.
are both with Yamal.
Okay.
Hunting and fishing. The hunting, I got a 26.
Hell yeah.
The fishing, I got a 20.
Nice.
Just shooting the shit, talking to him more about one time we killed a fucking drake and then we made it into a meal.
All about that shit.
Yeah.
Red. Last two.
Yamal, I'm touching base with him again on my story about
Sure.
the beholder and getting his tips for how I could have done better. And I used my survival and I got a 30.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Christ. Okay.
Please,
What's your
tell
final
me.
one as well? We're doing final
Oh,
two,
yeah,
just
yeah.
rapid
And then
fire.
Animede,
Ooh, go
I
for
did a
it.
performance of an Underdark Dirge
Okay.
and
Ooh.
I got a 16.
She's interested.
That's with a -1, so.
I imagine it's like
Nice.
that German death metal we were listening
That's
to
funny.
Yeah.
before we started playing.
Oh,
Exactly that.
Okay.
Diplomacy check for Animede
Okay.
about how she would have been a much welcomed addition music-wise to Nikolai's previous wedding that just happened this
Ooh,
last
flattery will get you everywhere. Great.
month. That would be a 26.
Ooh, that's a success.
And
Disrespecting
then
my
I
wedding,
had
did you
oh shoot, what was this? Let's just do diplomacy with Jamal, just about the presentation and everything, and thanks for having us here. But this one's a little lower for 22.
Okay. Yeah, goes through well. Arthur, last two.
Arthur does a survival check for Yamal, basically just telling him like the owlbear story.
Sure.
That was a 21. And then
Yeah, very impressed.
he goes over to essentially like a door and starts doing pull-ups as an athletics check. That was also a 29.
Are you a teenage boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're jumping
He's
to
like,
touch
yeah.
the ceiling.
Yeah.
You're doing pull-ups on this like a bunch of fucking
I
kids
imagine
around
he's just over there in the corner doing that for the rest of the meal, and he's like at 70 and just keeps going.
Yeah.
Jesus
He's got
Christ.
full extension and
He's
everything.
some like this, some with his hands reversed.
Yeah, some with one hand.
Yeah.
Oh. So then for Laku, she was a little hurt by Anamid's like, oh, I don't like foul cheese. And like, she
Aw.
got the hint of like, don't like birds. But she's like, you know what? No, birds, I'm going to let this roll off my back like a duck. And
Oh,
so
wow.
she goes over and she's like, hey, you know what my,
I ain't no fucking duck.
do you know what my, do you know what my favorite meal is? Foul cheese and a mead.
Yes.
Jesus,
rolled
can you
a-
give out 2 patches
That's
back to back?
awesome.
She rolled a 25 on society.
It's like some
And Jonas
underground
is in the
joke.
corner like
Yeah.
this with his drink.
Yeah.
And I think you somehow realize that like that's the thing that's currently I'm not sure if you knew this or pulled it off, but currently in vogue in Pitax is extremely dry puns.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
Dad
That's
jokes.
now canon.
All right, what's your last
And then
check?
the
Taxi and
other
dad
one
jokes.
was going back to the sisters, just trying to, she saw Arthur grab all these plates. And so, like, she's like, oh, yeah, look at me. And she, like, picks up the cheese. She's, like, trying to lift it. And she's like, yeah,
Couldn't lift
I
a
did,
wheel of
like, eating
cheese
it.
yet.
But she somehow rolled a 27 on athletics.
It's hilarious.
So it looks really impressive for a little bird.
Jesus fucking Christ.
That's awesome.
That's great.
This is how legends are born.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And
Some
I think
good
it's
rolls.
I think while the sisters are impressed, you do get like you do see that there's actually like someone standing out. Like one of you catch a glimpse. Whoever has the highest perception, maybe it's Nikolai. You see like a pair of eyes watching through like a crack in the door,
It's a pair of bodiless eyes over there.
and you just see Orlean looking at you and nodding as you
Nice.
juggle the cheese.
Yeah.
Yes,
And that's goose cheese.
that's good.
Mhm.
The heaviest of
The
cheeses.
heaviest of cheeses.
Jesus.
Finally, as dinner winds down, Timal brings in mugs of warmed cider. Coffee and tea
Oh.
service is offered to those who are interested, alongside some now more like artisanal cheeses and fruits. Yamal stands up, tinks like something on his glass,
That is a can.
It's a tin glass. and it sounds.
It's a tin glass.
It's a tin mug. It's not. The sound isn't great.
Yeah.
If I might request everyone's attention, I believe it is time to explain why we have arranged this hunt. Tune in next week.
Ah, fuck.
Ah.
This is where we die.
Mhm, mhm.
The Live to Die podcast is a production of Live to Die Gaming. Follow us on social media at Live to Die Pod. Want to support us? Check us out at patreon.com/live to die pod. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week for more.